eyes or maybe sore ears as the sound of bat cracks return to Coors Field. The Rockies pounded out season highs in hits and runs as the offense came out of its month-long hibernation against NL West foe San Diego. Today it's Game 2 between the Padres and the Rockies, next on Root Sports. Well, the Rockies' bats have turned hot. The weather has turned cold once again. Temperatures in the upper 40s as we get set for baseball between the Colorado Rockies and the San Diego Padres as they continue their three-game series. The Rockies getting a big win in Game 1 of the series last night with a huge offensive blowout. Welcome inside Coors Field. Tom Helmer alongside Jeff Hewson. 12 runs, 16 hits, all season highs. It's exactly what the doctor ordered for this ball club.
It really is, because they've been talking about this offense. They need to wake up. For the first time in 17 ball games, they had double-digit hits. But the good news about that is the other two times they did not either. They went to the playoffs in 07 and 09. 9 guys in this lineup last night had 1 hit. Tulowitzki had a couple RBIs, 3 hits. Carlos Gonzalez got a hit. A lot of good things to happen for this offense. And it's kind of funny because yesterday Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki did not take batting practice. He said, let's just change things up a little bit. So what they do today? They didn't take batting practice again. They said, hey, why mess with it?
If they put another dozen on the board, it may be done for batting practice for a while.
For a little bit,
for
anyway.
This ball club. All right, we're going to take a break here from Coors Field. When we come back, we'll talk about a guy that made it back into the starting lineup last night, Ty Wigington, and the Wigington Factor. That's coming up next here on Root Sports. between the Rockies and the Padres here at Coors Field on Root Sports. Welcome back inside Coors Field. Ty Wigington back in the starting lineup last night. Went 1 for 5 with a double and a run scored in his first start since coming off the DL with a left oblique strain. Ty Wigington, with him in the lineup, the Rockies are 10-5. He certainly makes a difference. With more on that, let's check in with Mark Stout. Mark?
You're right, Tom, and I asked Jim Tracy if that's an intangible when you think about the contributions number 21 makes, and he said, I don't know whether you'd call it that.
This is who he is. This is why a player like this, finds his way on good ball clubs. They're always looking for a player like this because he's a difference maker. In his own way, he's a difference maker because he really understands the little things that are separators in playing championship caliber ball and winning one-run games and things like that. He gets it. He gets it.
Tom back in the starting lineup again today against Aaron Harang in his career. 4 for 9, couple of home runs. They came in the same game when he was with the Astros. One was a game winner. Look for him to contribute again like he does game in and game out.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Mark. All right. Stay right where you are. Coming up, it's the Rockies and the Padres right here on Root Sports. Rockies looking for another win, trying to take the series. It'd be their first series win since late April. Hi,
hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Go. 15 minutes could save you 50% or more on car insurance. Ford Explorer 2011 North American Truck of the Year. Ford Explorer, drive one. The new Quest 5-year price lock promise. Visit quest.com/promise for details. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout days. Welcome back to Coors Field. Yulise Chassin taking the field, ready to start things off against the Padres. The Rockies haven't won consecutive games at Coors Field since winning 3 in a row from April 2nd to April 6th. And that was 1 against Arizona and 2 against the Dodgers. Rockies looking to build some momentum here. Let's take a look at the Southwest Airlines starting lineup. It'll be Will Venable leading things off for the Padres. Jason Bartlett batting second. Brad Hopp, a fan favorite here. A lot of Hopp jerseys in the crowd. He had a great career here. He'll be starting at first base. Cameron Maben was unstoppable last night, going 4 for 4 with a pair of homers and 3 RBI. And Kyle Phillips will be behind the plate, playing in just his 8th Major League game. Yolis Chacin on the hill. 4-2 this season with a 2.68 ERA. He's making his first career start against the Padres. He has faced the Friars in 3 relief appearances in his career and has an ERA just a shade over 8 in those relief appearances.
But the numbers are even better here at Coors Field. 2-1 with a 124 and just a 184 batting average against. It's all about that fastball command, Tom, with him to be able to set up the secondary pitches. Early on, that's one of those keys for the game for me. Is he going to be able to command that into the zone and work ahead of the hitters?
Now let's see if he can get off to a good start. Dale Scott, the crew chief behind the plate, calling balls and strikes. First pitch of the game is a strike. Will Venable leading things off. Venable came off the bench last night, had a pinch hit single in the 8th inning.
Kind of unusual for a big guy like Venable to be the leadoff hitter, who's more of a power guy. Does have some stolen bases, 10 stolen bases, but they really like this guy to be lower down in the batting order, but they just can't because they don't have many options.
He's got 10 stolen bases in 12 attempts. And he's been on fire over the course of the last 4 games. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-2. It is an overcast and cloudy day. I guess that's the same thing. Cool,
yeah, isn't it?
Overcast and cool. Yesterday was about picture perfect. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Drives this one towards left. This one curving towards the seats. Wigington giving chase, but he won't be able to get there. You and I had talked a little bit too about Ty Wigington being back in the lineup. He played a doubleheader just 2 days ago. Played 9 innings last night. He's coming off the oblique strain, but right back in there.
That doesn't bother him. He's a guy that
you can't stop me.
You can't stop him. He just enjoys playing the game.
There's the 2-2 pitch. This one fouled back right off the mask of Chris Iannetta.
We'll just double check to make sure all the pieces are still welded together.
There's another tough guy right there. Stands about 6 feet tall, weighs about 260.
Kind of just a square, prototypical catcher's body.
2-2 delivery again. This one grounded towards Tulowitzki. First in time. Take a look at how the Rockies set up defensively for this ball game. In the outfield, you have Gonzalez, Fowler, and Smith. The infield has kind of become the normal setup here with Ty Wigington back in the lineup. Tulo at short, Herrera at second, Helton at first, Chris Iannetta behind the plate.
It's nice to see Todd back in the lineup today after coming out of the ball game with that calf strain last night. We were talking earlier this morning. Was he going to play today? I said, sure, it feels good.
First pitch strike to Jason Bartlett. Bartlett batting .353 career at Coors Field in 4 games.
That's kind of right along the average of the San Diego Padres the last 4 games, .353.
Yeah, they've been on a tear. Yeah, you were talking about Todd Helton, and he did strain his calf last night, and I went up to him in the clubhouse. I said, oh, I'm surprised to see you're back in the lineup. He goes, I actually tweaked it a little bit going into second base, so when I came home, it may have showed a little bit, but I'd injured it just previous to that. Because but with legs as explosive as mine, you have to take care of them.
He made a
as
funny,
he does in tongue-in-cheek.
He made a funny comment to Tommy Runnels. He said, Tommy, I said, probably not going to steal any bases today, so just make sure you don't give me the sign.
It'd be par for what he's done so far this season as far as stealing bases. The 1-2 pitch. Low and outside even at 2-2.
I like that forward strike zone. It shows you just how close it was, but it was off the plate. Go right back out there again.
This one towards center field. Dexter Fowler drifting back and puts it away for the second out of the inning. So a nice start for Yolis Chacin against a Padres team that has really found their offense, especially in the past week. They had a season-high 13 hits on Tuesday and then followed that up on Wednesday with a 23-hit performance, which is 1 short of the club record.
Well, you throw in 11 hits last night. 385 over the last 3 ball games. You see a bunch of guys' averages jump because of it.
You look statistically in April, they were the worst team in the National League in just about every offensive category. And then in May, they've turned it around.
And what they've also done, too, they're hitting 50 points higher as a ball club out on the road than they are at home. And they played more games out on the road in May, and that helps that average go up.
You know, Petco is a pitcher's park, but the numbers have been so drastically different. Ball outside, count 1-2 to Chase Headley, who comes into the ball game batting .252. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fouls that one back. See manager Bud Black trying to get these Padres going in the right direction. And as we looked at those numbers from April to May, going in the right direction offensively, you want to start racking up the wins to go along with it.
Well, 5th season for Bud Black as a manager, and he's been the perfect fit for that organization to try to get some younger guys up into the big leagues and bring some other guys over in trades.
This one grounded towards Todd Helton. We'll flip it over to Chacin, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the first. Rockies coming up to bat in the scoreless ball game. Here in the bottom half of the first inning. Let's take a look at the Southwest lineup. It will be Dexter Fowler leading things off, followed by Herrera, Gonzalez, Tulowitzki, Seth Smith. Very versatile. He was leading off yesterday. He'll be batting down in the 6th spot today, and then followed by Wigington and Chris Iannetta.
No issues at all with Dexter Fowler in that knee.
Yeah, I had talked to him earlier today, and he had fouled a ball off his kneecap on Tuesday. And I said, how did that feel? He goes, pretty much how you'd expect.
So what he's saying is, don't go out to the woodshed, grab a hammer, and just kind of whack your knee a little bit.
He said it'd be the equivalent of someone just taking a baseball and whipping it at your knee at full speed. But he is healthy 100% and ready to go tonight as he makes the first start since fouling the ball off his kneecap.
Big pinch hit. RBI single last night. Played some defense in the 9th.
This one towards left field. Ludwig underneath it, and he puts it away.
Take a look at the numbers for Aaron Harang, a San Diego native. Went to high school at Patrick Henry High School in San Diego and also San Diego State. Was non-tendered by the Cincinnati Reds, meaning he was not offered a contract, but he was their opening day starter for the Reds for 5 straight seasons. And this guy was just a horse there for a number of years. He made 20 starts last year because of a back issue.
Well, he delivers the strike to Jonathan Herrera. And Jonathan Herrera, a guy, a joke that says all he does is get on base. .391 on base percentage, which is 10th best in the National League.
Ideal number 2 place hitter, because he's not afraid to take strikes. He's not afraid to hit and run. He likes to do that. He can lay down bunts. He understands his role.
Well, Aaron Harang is 4-2 lifetime against the Rockies with a 3.70 ERA in 7 starts. It's actually 2-1 at Coors Field. This one to center field. Maben comes in, and that'll be the second out of the inning. Take a look at the Padres defensively. Maben, who just made the catch out in center field, he's joined out there by Ludwig and Will Venable. Around the infield, it's Headley, Bartlett, Patterson, and Brad Hopp, fan favorite here, over at first base. And Kyle Phillips, who we said playing in his 8th Major League game, is behind the dish. There you see Brad Hopp. He's got the facial hair. That's really the only difference in Brad Hopp between his Rocky years and now.
He started to grow it because he wasn't hitting. And then once he started hitting, he said, I can't shave it off. I've got to keep it.
It's Carlos Gonzalez takes a called strike.
Just kind of seems weird to look out to the field and see Brad at first base, though.
It is. And of course, he filled in there on rare occasion. Gonzalez to center field. Maben has a beat on it. And that's the final out of the inning. A 1-2-3 inning. We head to the top of the second. We are scoreless at Coors Field. Second inning. You got a nice round of applause last night. Gets it again today.
Booze.
Huh?
It's better than booze.
Anything's better than booze.
We did a lot for this organization, and I think respect that.
He swings at the first pitch, and this one's going to be a hit to left center field. And it's a leadoff single for Brad Hopp. And earlier, Brad Hopp talked about returning to Coors Field in a Padres uniform.
You know, it's part of life, part of baseball. You play long enough, then you get things like this happen. And, you know, it's only funny because how long I was there, and being there for so long is special. You know, I'm very fortunate for that amount of time.
He played for the Rockies from 2004 through 2010. His 5th in the all-time games played list for the Rockies, 7th in home runs with 118, 8th in RBI with 464. He was a huge part of this Rockies organization.
Well, he grew up. He was part of that nucleus that had played together for a number of years down in the minor leagues and progressed to the big leagues and helped take the ball club to the World Series.
Cameron Maben at the plate. Grounder towards third, and this one will stay fair. So it's a base hit. It hit the bag. Ty Wigington was waiting on it, and it ends up as a hit.
I don't mind him letting that go because we saw Cameron Maben last night with the swinging bunt that he had to try to come in barehanded. And when it kicked on the dirt, you're thinking, okay, it has a chance to curve foul, and that's why he let it go. And then it caught right on the edge of the bag, fair ball. But that's what happens when you're just on a roll like Cameron Maben is.
Yeah, in his last
back-to-back games that he's had 4 hits.
Yeah, he's 8 for 10 with 2 homers, 5 RBI. Not bad.
It's okay. It'll raise your average, about 50 points in the last 2+ games.
So that brings up Ryan Ludwig with runners at first and second, nobody out. He takes a called first strike. I guess my thought on that play, Jeff, was why did Wigington charge it and try and make a play on it at first?
Because he figured that Maben's speed coming out of the box where he was going to have to catch it was not going to allow him to make that play. And then you risk throwing it down the right field line, and guys in scoring position at second and third, or maybe one scores. And the other thing, too, is you've got to realize where Ty is, still back a little bit. If he comes and gets this ball and fields it, 2 or 3 steps in front of the grass where he has to make the throw, he's already in foul territory. That's a long throw across his body.
It's a 1-1 pitch. This one driven towards center field. Fowler retreats, makes the catch. Runner will tag. Throw to third base will not be in time. So Brad Hopp moves up to third. Now you have runners at the corner with 1 out. That'll bring up Kyle Phillips, who's batting .286 this season.
I like the way Dexter got behind that baseball and made the strong throw. And you might be sitting there going, why did Troy cut it off? Well, if it goes all the way to third base with Cameron Maben's speed, he gets to second base. You take the double play out of order.
The Rockies did what they had to do defensively.
So you have to be cautious with Maben over at first. 6 stolen bases, and they're a very aggressive ball club.
He's been caught twice in 8 attempts.
I want to go back to Dexter Fowler. See how he's behind the ball? His momentum is going forward. That allows him to get more on the throw, but he hit the cutoff man. And now Troy's able to jump up and get it. That's the worst thing that can happen if that outfielder sails that ball all the way in the air.
You know, we talk so much about Dexter Fowler's speed.
The little things.
He's got an arm.
He has a strong arm. But he has a strong arm because mechanically he's doing everything right.
A 1 count to Phillips, who got a taste of the majors in 2009 with Toronto. He was acquired by the Padres during June of last year and played in their AAA organization.
Been swinging a little bit. Doesn't get cheated up at the plate.
He's 2 for 7 on the season. He's facing an 0-2 count. Here's the pitch from Chacin. No, checks first to third. Now that actually worked the other day.
We've seen it work a couple different times this week. Once with the Rockies, I saw it in another major league game.
And it was probably 2 weeks ago I was saying that move never works. You never see anybody get picked off on that play. You see 2 guys in a week.
He looks like he might be going though.
Check him over at first base.
The Rockies already have determined where they're going to throw the baseball. With Hopp at third base, more than likely they're going to go ahead and throw all the way through to try to get Maben, and then if Hopp takes off, then Troy will cut it off and throw home.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. This one right back up the middle for a base hit. Brad Hopp will score. Maben running for third. Tulowitzki cuts it. It's 1-0 Padres, and they still have runners at first and third. Just the 3rd RBI of the season for Kyle Phillips.
Well, the breaking pitch is down and away. Phillips was able to stay on that baseball. Didn't hit it all that hard, allowing Maben to go first to third. Just the long strides of that young man.
that'll bring up second baseman Eric Patterson. Patterson is 0 for 17 on the road.
Not good.
I'd certainly like to see some other number than a goose egg in that position.
Difficult man to double up. Has good speed. He's a lot like his older brother Corey Patterson in the fact that they have some power, although they're not big in stature.
Well, here's the 1-0 pitch. And it's ball 2. So Chacin falls behind 2-0 on Patterson. Padres have had 3 singles in this inning. Got Cameron Maben at third. Kyle Phillips over at first. Here is the 2-0 pitch. This one popped up in the air. Tulowitzki underneath it, puts it away for the second out of the inning. And that's a big out with Aaron Harang coming up.
Huge. Now you have to be able to put this inning down, getting Harang out. We saw it in the game the other day against the New York Mets when Jason Hamill gave up the base hit to Mike Pelfrey with 2 outs and runners out to score a couple runs.
We saw Harang has 1 hit this season, 1 for 12. Swings and misses at that offering. 0-1.
He's 0.93 in his career, so
he's right around his career average.
He's getting real close.
The 0-1 pitch. And almost gets away from Iannetta. Good job of staying in front of it. And you hear plenty of talk about Chris Iannetta, how good he is defensively.
Worked real hard on his blocking, his throwing this winter. Well, he's throwing back-to-back sliders. Throw it one more time.
His fielding percentage is 1,000, so it doesn't get any better for Chris Iannetta. Swing and a miss there, a strikeout, and that puts down the inning. The Padres get 3 hits in a run. We head to the bottom of the second. It's 1-0. That's the difference as we head to the bottom of the second. It's 1-0. Hey, who wants tacos? Fans, remember, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 p.m. to get your Rockies taco special. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell.
Dinner's on me tonight, Tom.
Sweet.
Tacos from yesterday.
We're heading to Taco Bell. Rockies hoping to duplicate it today. The last time they had back-to-back taco games would have been April 6th and April 7th. They scored 7 runs apiece. One against the Dodgers, one against Pittsburgh. So taco fanatics hopeful the Rockies can put 7 on the board today. They'll start with 1. Troy Tulowitzki leading things off. There's a ground ball to third. Gets through. Not only that, but Chase Headley pulls up hobbling a little bit.
You wonder if it's an ankle or a hamstring. Because when this ball was first hit, it looked like he had an opportunity to get it. It was hit hard, but Headley puts the glove out and they kind of twist and turns just a little bit. You get a good look. Is it his ankle?
I think the ball may have hit his foot.
Oh, he rolled his ankle.
Roll. He rolled his right ankle. And they're going to come out and take a look at him right now and see if he's okay.
Sometimes the initial shock of rolling your ankle is very painful, and then it dulls a little bit. You take a deep breath and you start to go back just a little bit more and relax, and it starts to feel better. Now they might tape it up in between innings, but the good news out of all of it, Troy gets a base hit.
Troy gets a base hit. He was 3 for 5 last night. Talking to Brad Hopp over there at first base. They can get caught up a little bit. That'll bring up Todd Helton. Going outside for a ball. Helton hitting 9 of 10 games in May so far. 14 of 40. That's .381 average.
He's just been Mr. Consistent since opening day.
He has. Coming off a season that was really his career worst. He batted .256 a year ago.
And that was one of the big question marks coming into the season. How is Todd going to be able to respond? Well, I think he's answered that.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. And it's ball 2. And it's a thing with Todd Helton too. Some people, when he's in a slump, they'll say, you know, it's time for him to move on. It's time for him to retire. They got to make a move at first base. He's kind of the equivalent of a Brett Favre in that he'll be done when he decides he's done, and he'll be very effective. And when he decides he can't be anymore, he'll decide he's done.
He understands that the other thing that he brings is a guy that will see 5 to 7 pitches per at bat. So that helps everybody else out in that lineup. Try to get the pitcher out of the ball game a little sooner.
There's the 2-2 pitch to Helton. Foul tip there, strikeout. And that'll be the first out of the inning. All season long, join us for Toyota Talk. Text your comments live during the game and see what you and fellow Rockies fans have on their mind about their favorite team. Text Toyota followed by a space and then your comment to 720-720. You can follow everyone's comments live during the 6th inning and the entire Toyota postgame show. Remember, standard message and data rates may apply. So with 1 on and 1 out, Seth Smith digs in. Takes a first pitch ball.
Well, Seth hitting out of the number 6 spot today after 2 for 5 and an RBI last night. 1 for 5 the night before with a couple RBIs.
Jim Tracy talked before the ball game about Seth Smith and the ability to move him up and down the lineup card and still have him be effective.
And he's one of the few guys that he feels comfortable doing that with. And he talked to him, as you mentioned, during spring training, said, you have to be flexible. Don't get locked into one position because you're a guy that'll hit leadoff, hit second, hit 6th, hit 7th. I want to try to keep everybody else stable.
Check Tulowitzki over at first. Tulowitzki's only attempted 4 steals this season, but been successful on 3 of them. It's ball 3. So Harang in danger of walking Seth Smith with Ty Wigington on deck. Seth Smith batting .298 in 48 career games against the Padres. There you see Ty Wigington. The 3-0 pitch. I'll call that one a strike.
(3-1) count. Good opportunity for Troy to take off.
Check him over at first again. Harang had his best outing in 4 starts last Sunday against Arizona over at Petco Park, and he allowed just 2 runs on 8 hits over 8 innings. The interesting stat with him is he is 5-0 when he doesn't give up a home run this season.
I was just going to say the trouble with the long ball.
There's one driven to left field. This one back, giving chase, and it will be caught. Nice job by Ludwig. Tulowitzki, who had rounded second, has to go all the way back to first base.
I'm a little surprised by Ludwig's range. We saw him drop a ball into the left center field gap last night off the bat of Carlos Gonzalez. The way he had to reach for this, and the thing that helped him out is he's left-handed, so he's able to reach at the last instance, catch the baseball. If he was right-handed trying to go across his body, might not be able to catch that. Troy was halfway to third, had to retrace his steps, come back, hit the bag, because he didn't think Ludwig was going to be able to catch that.
I don't blame him. The way it came off the bat down the line, that looked like it was going to be at least a double. So now Ty Wigington at the plate. He's had great numbers against Harang in his career, 4 for 9 with a pair of home runs. Swing and a miss there, 1-1.
Harang is basically fastball slider over the top. Not quite an Iron Mike type where it's straight over the top, but more by his right ear. Fastball about 89, 90 miles an hour, and we'll get some depth on the slider.
That slider hitting it at about 82, 83 miles an hour. There he comes in with a fastball, 1-2. He gets better as the game goes on.
That's part of that mentality as a pitcher. I feel like I need to get stronger.
The 1-2 pitch. This one grounded. Over to first, not in time, and it's a base hit for Wigington.
Chase underestimated Ty getting down the line. He needed to come get that and field it as a slow roller and get rid of it in one motion. But once he stopped, all his momentum stopped. He did everything you could once you field it that way. But Ty getting that infield single. Brad tried to stretch and help it out a little bit.
Kind of looked like a hockey
that was,
goalie there.
yeah, a little interesting. A lot of times when you stretch, you want to take that right foot to where the ball's coming from, not take it more towards the outfield.
So now 2 on, 2 out. Chris Iannetta fouls that one back for a strike. The Rockies had that big offensive explosion last night. Chris Iannetta not really a part of it. Got a walk in the first inning and then was 0 for 4 after that, including hitting into a rare 7-3 double play in the 6th inning. The 0-1 pitch. So Iannetta quickly falls behind 0-2. Chris Iannetta, 5 homers, 13 RBI this season.
A lot of late inning home runs and RBIs.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope. A
1-2 pitch. There's ball 2. So after falling behind 0-2. The count now even.
The Rockies is a ball club with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. 233 on the season.
You see Iannetta much better when he's ahead in the count.
Well, that's not unusual. A lot of hitters are that way.
It's ball 3. So after the 0-2 start, Harang in danger of walking Iannetta and loading the bases.
With the pitcher on deck, the runners in motion. Harang's thrown him 3 straight sliders. I wouldn't be surprised if he threw him a 4th to see if he could get him to chase it out of the zone.
A 3-2 pitch. He threw a fastball and misses and loads him up.
Ooh. Might have caught a break. It was the same place as the 4th pitch.
It's about as close as you can get. Well, here's Yolis Chacin, who does have a pair of hits this season. Takes a look at that first pitch. And it's a strike. As Harang comes once again with the slider. Grounded towards short. And flip it over to second, and that'll be the final out of the inning. The Rockies get a pair of hits and load the bases, but they can't get anything across. We head to the top of the 3rd, 1-0 Padres. By your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. The Colorado Lottery, don't forget to play. And by the Rocky Mountain Coal Mining Institute, promoting Western coal through education. Welcome back to Coors Field on an overcast and cool day. Let's go down to Mark Stout with today's Fast Cash Sideline Report, brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Mark?
All right, Tom Huey, Yolis Chacin over my shoulder, hitting the hill. I had a conversation with him the other day about when did you become a pitcher? And he told me when he was a youngster in Venezuela, not too long ago, he's 23, he was an outfielder. So I said, who turned you into a pitcher? Do you have an older brother? Nope. He's got a younger brother and a younger sister. He credits the Rockies Dominican complex. When he went there at the age of 14, they turned him into a pitcher. So I said, does your brother play ball? His brother is 13, and his brother's name is Jousberth, Jousberth. He said, yeah, he wants to be a pitcher like me, but I want him to be a hitter. So I said, yeah, he wants to be like you. And he said, me and Johan Santana, because that's who he plays on PS3. So we'll see what happens. But good guy to look up to, his older brother.
Jousberth?
Jousberth. He wrote it down for me. I didn't get much further than that, Tom. I asked him, "Did you spell it for me?" And then I sort of said, Yolis Usberth to JH, and it ended there.
Spell it again.
JHOUSBERTH, Usberth.
Huh.
He's watching the game online. You know, they're 2 hours ahead of us, so he said he's 13. He can't watch his brother pitch that much because he's got to go to bed. So today's a perfect day to be watching his brother.
Absolutely. Right now he's facing Will Venable. Yeah. A swing and a miss there. He'll make a break for first base, but he won't get there. So it's a strikeout, 2-3 put out for the first out of the inning.
Well, you'll see that a lot of times down in the minor leagues. You might sign a guy and then flip him from either a pitcher to a position player. More times than not, it's from a position player to a pitcher. But remember, Brad Hopp originally was drafted in the 46th round as a pitcher. And now he's a hitter. Rick Ankiel, another guy that's flip-flopped.
Well, and the Padres have one of the greatest guys ever to flip is a shortstop made closer in Trevor Hoffman.
Tim Wakefield, shortstop to a knuckleball pitcher, still flipping it up there at age 40 plus, 47, 46.
I'm blanking on the name. I'm trying to think of the guy that was a pitcher. It went south. He moved to the outfield. Great arm. Played for the Cardinals.
Thank you.
Yeah, Rick Ankiel. Oh, nice stop there by Helton. Flips it over to Chassin for the second out of the inning.
But that's why even with the calf and you're wondering, is he going to be in the lineup today? Is he not? You still value his defense. You know, Jason Bartlett thought that was going to be a knock. Oh, I've got a hit. Oh, wait, Todd's over there. And the positioning, that's the other factor in this. He was off the line with the right-handed hitter. That's a ball that goes into right field most of the time.
And he's falling forward and arcing that ball. You've got to lead the runner. That's where his days of playing quarterback at the University of Tennessee come through. Lead that receiver towards the connection point.
All right, I've got to correct it. Wakefield's only 44, not 46 or 47, okay? So sorry, Tim. I apologize if you're listening.
Whew, save the angry emails. This is Chase Headley. Grounded out in his first at bat. He pulls this one towards Helton, scoops it up. He'll take care of it himself. It's a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the third. 1-0 Padres. Be All-Star ballot and enter to win a trip to the All-Star game. Compliments of Scott's. All-Star game in Phoenix, Arizona this year. Dexter Fowler leading things off for the Rockies in the bottom of the third. Tries to lay down the bunt, pops it up back towards the screen.
Smart idea with the bad wheel over at third base and Chase Headley.
Yeah, Headley rolled his right ankle a little bit earlier in the ball game. Dexter Fowler, as far as leadoff hitters, ranked second in the National League in on-base percentage at .377 behind Kosuke Fukudomi, who's got a .464 percentage.
Yeah, that great April though Kosuke did.
You don't have to talk down about him.
No, I'm just
Still
saying.
a great number.
When your nickname's Mr. April.
2-1 the count to Fowler, who flew out to left in his first at bat back in the first. There's ball 3. Walking Dexter Fowler, he should just trot to second base for the most part. He's got a great deal of speed and he can punish you on the base paths. And he walks him. 5 pitches. Hey, your windshield damage? Call Safelight Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelight.com.
Well, it was a couple years ago back in '09 that Dexter Fowler had 5 stolen bases against the San Diego Padres. Chris Young was on the mound that day. It's a rookie record for the Rockies.
You have all that knowledge upstairs,
Right
don't
there.
you? It's like a baseball encyclopedia. We've talked about the Padres home and away. How about Jonathan Herrera? .222 hitter at home, .338 on the road.
That's one of those shocking numbers, but it plays into the whole team, what they've hit at Coors Field this year compared to what they have done in the past.
Keeping an eye over on Fowler at first base.
You got a little mist starting.
Yeah, it almost looked like a fog, but it's a light, really light rain starting to fall here at Coors Field. You can smell the rain. 0-1 pitch. Herrera shows bunt. Ball 1.
Even at a 1-1 count, Jim Tracy likes to hit and run with Jonathan Herrera and Dexter Fowler.
This is the lightest it can possibly rain without really calling it rain. I mean, you have to look up into the rafters a little bit to see the moisture. Hopefully it doesn't get any harder than that. 1-1 the count to Herrera. Now Fowler has a lot of speed. He's attempted to steal 5 times this season, but he's been caught 3 times. But if he gets a good jump, he's going to get you.
Yeah, that's the one area he does need to improve on, is that jump, that first step, getting out of the running lane.
Herrera lays down the bunt. They only have a play at first base, but he can't cover in time. Herrera's safe. Fowler was off the bag at second, but dives back in. And it works out for the Rockies. They have runners at first and second, and Herrera has a base hit.
Well, the inexperience of Brad Hopp at first base allowed Jonathan Herrera to get this base hit. Hopp comes off the bag, and there's not any communication. You have to know how far that pitcher's range is. And Herrera, the way he falls, knows that there is nobody there. Patterson can't get over there. Tries to get Dexter on the back throw. Jason Bartlett knocks it down. The 27th game this year that Brad's played in over at first base. All last year was just 9 games with Tampa Bay and here.
Oh, it was a nice bunt by Herrera to get the play started.
Well, we'll go back to that play for a second. Now watch where Eric Patterson is. He's not anywhere close to the bag. Eric's right here. He can't beat Jonathan to the bag because he is in double play depth. If it's a sacrifice situation, he's cheated in and over. He'll make it to the bag, but not when it's a base hit.
The 0-1 pitch. This one fouled off. And a good decision by Herrera not to throw the ball and try and force a play over there first. It could have ended up a lot worse.
Yeah, because he's trying to lead a second baseman, and he's going to the bag with the runner going there. I've seen collisions. I've seen those throws be missed, and next it's down the right field line.
Carlos Gonzalez batting .200 with runners in scoring position this season. This one towards left. That one will drop in for a single. Dexter Fowler rounding third. He'll come in to score, and we've got a tie ball game. You don't have to hit it hard. You just have to hit it where they ain't.
That bat right now is in about 3 pieces because it was broken. Hit it on the label. They wanted the baseball inside. It was in, but it was up. And the read from Dexter Fowler was perfect, understanding that Bartlett's not going to be able to jump high enough with his momentum where he's at, and he scored standing up.
And here comes Troy Tulowitzki. Shows bunt. Here's today's Colorado Mining Association power hit of the week. And it came last night in the 4th inning. Tulowitzki with a solo home run. He had a 3-for-5 night, 3 RBI, and he absolutely crushed this one. Did you know that coal accounted for 68% of Colorado's electricity in 2010? And it's mined right here in Colorado. The 1-0 pitch. Drives this one towards left center. This one's going to drop. Herrera's going to score. Carlos Gonzalez rounding third. He's going to score. Tulowitzki's going for 3 for the triple. The throw. They got him. Well, he never pumped the brakes. He kept going. He was going to try and stretch it for 3, but a nice relay throw, and they get him at third base. Nevertheless, he drives in a pair of runs, and the Rockies have themselves a 3-1 lead.
Well, a changeup from Harang that was just a BP fastball at 83 miles an hour. Troy staying on top of the baseball, hits it into the gap. And the rule of thumb is you don't want to make the first or third out at third base or at home, but he was going the whole way. You can't fault a guy sometimes for trying to be aggressive and make some things happen.
I was as surprised as anybody to see him go around second and just stay on the gas.
But he never stopped. That was the key. He had it in his mind out of the box that he was going to try to get a triple.
The 1-1 pitch. Tulo in his last 2 games now 5 for 7 with a homer and 5 RBI.
And I still go back to that home run he hit to right field the other day to help him get on track, help him get that swing back.
The 2-1 pitch. This one driven towards center. Maben going back towards the wall. This one is gone. A solo home run for Todd Helton.
Okay, maybe Troy should have stopped at second.
Todd Helton.
Was this reminiscent of the ball he hit in Chicago to dead center field?
Yes. Well, in all-time hits against San Diego, he ranks 4th with 253, just 3 behind Dale Murphy.
Once again, Todd being able to drive off that back leg and hit it out to center field. We were questioning whether he'd even be in the lineup today. We've seen him now hit a home run and make some sparkling plays at first base.
Well, with that, Helton has 338 career homers, which ties Don Baylor for 89th all time. Fouled back.
On top of all that, Tom, you've got your production from your 3, 4, 5 place hitters. 4 RBIs now in the game between those 3 guys.
Swing and a miss there by Seth Smith. 1-2 the count. I mentioned that Todd Helton has 283 career hits against San Diego now. I'm looking at the other 5 names on the list. Number 1 is Pete Rose. Second is Barry Bonds, who really used to haunt him at Qualcomm, too. This one grounded towards second. Patterson with the throw to first in time. That's the second out of the inning. Dale Murphy is on that list at number 3. And number 5 is Concepcion, who actually, Tom Runnels, the bench coach for the Rockies, played behind Concepcion and was on the bench the night Rose got the all-time hits record against the San Diego Padres.
Eric Schau.
Eric Schau was the pitcher on the hill. And the catcher was Bruce Bochy for Eric Schau in that game. Bochy had called for a slider to try and get in on Pete Rose's hands because it had worked the night before and they got him to pop up 3 times and ended up getting the base hit. Tom Reynolds goes, I had a great seat for that one. He goes, as I think back, though, to that 85 season, he goes, I can't hardly name any of the Padres on that team. He goes, I started thinking about it. He goes, I'm surprised that Bruce Bochy was the catcher in that ball game. Swing and a miss there by Wigington.
I'd forgotten that fact. You still see Pete Rose hitting that ball to left center field.
Yep, I can see it perfectly. 2-1 pitch. This one hard foul down the third base line. That'll even it up at 2-2. Wigington singled back in the second inning. Five different Rockies already have hits in this ball game. The 2-2 pitch. It's a soft grounder.
Same play.
And he's not going to get the throw in time.
That's the same play that he did earlier.
So Wigington's on his second hit of the ball game. If it's effective, Jeff, why get away from it?
Well, if it was that easy to continue to do it time after time, you would do it. It's remarkable. In the second inning and now here in the third inning, Ty Wigington hits the same type of ball to the same guy, and he tries to make the same type of play.
That brings up Chris Iannetta, who walked in the second inning. He drives this one foul down the right field line. That one almost makes the Mountain Ranch Club. They're going to call an E5 actually on the Wigington play. They preemptively gave him a base hit.
Yeah, 5th error on the season for Chase Headley. If he hadn't bobbled that ball and caught it, make the throw, it's easier to determine whether it was going to be a hit or an error.
It's a 1-1 pitch. And as big as Wigington's frame is, he almost looks like a catcher when you look at him, but he's very light on his feet. He's quick. Or he couldn't play around the infield the way he does, where they can put him at third, they could put him at second, they could put him at first. Keep an eye on Wigington.
He does have 2 stolen bases.
He's got 2. He hasn't been caught. He's selective. When he goes, he gets there.
I think he's going to be stealing too many bases. That's when he got hurt in Chicago, when he was sliding, trying to avoid the tag. He drove his.
He said he whipped his arm up by his
around.
batting helmet. He was afraid to get hit, and that's when he felt the pain in his side. Next thing you know, he's on the 15-day DL. There's the 2-1 pitch. There goes Wigington. The throw to second base. Oh, it wasn't caught. He's there with his 3rd stolen base of the season.
Just as soon as we say, I don't think he'll go, he got hurt last time he tried to steal a base, he takes off.
In all fairness, Jeff, it wasn't we. You said he wasn't going to go.
Okay, throw me under the bus. I said he wasn't going to go.
Just don't take me down with you.
Okay.
But he got a good jump. And actually, it was an excellent throw there by Kyle Phillips.
Even if Patterson catches it, he's not going to be able to do it. But you take the bat out of Chris's hands by doing it. But on the plus side, you bring the pitcher up this inning. And if he does make an out, you have the top of the order leading off next inning.
Chris Iannetta has been very good at that in flipping the lineup. Getting on base, getting that on base percentage up, getting hits so that the pitcher does get up.
Toughest place in baseball to hit.
Because you know you're not going to get great pitches because of the guy hitting behind you.
Sometimes you have to expand your zone. Other times you have to shrink it. Know when to take your walk. Know when to try to hit the ball.
Well, Chacin is the 9th batter of the inning. Takes a fastball down the middle, 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. He grounds this one towards short. They'll flip it over to second for the final out of the inning. But they get 4 hits in the inning and 4 runs, including a solo home run by Todd Helton. Rockies lead it 4-1 as we head to the top of the 4th. Run by Todd Helton. Time now for today's AT&T trivia question. The Rockies had 5 players with 90-plus RBIs in 2007. Who were they? We'll let you think about that one. Huey's thinking. He's rummaging through the baseball encyclopedia in his head.
1. Yeah, I've got 4 of them.
Okay.
A little bit of time to get that 5th, and I'll even write them down for you, Tom,
okay,
just to make sure that I'm not cheating.
Wow. Brad Hopp leading things off for the Padres here in the top of the 4th. So you don't give me that proverbial, oh, I got it.
Oh, I got it.
Sure. I was going to say that name. Don't use the computers at home, too. Just think about it. Too easy to look things up these days. It's no fun in trivia if you go right and Google something. Hop singled and scored the Padres' only run back in the 1st inning on a Kyle Phillips RBI single. Hop got off to a real slow start. Batted .098 in April. Only had 2 RBIs. He's batting .354 in May with 5 RBIs. He's 7 for his last 13.
We were talking about that home run he hit last year in San Diego.
Off Thatcher. In 2007.
Or 2007, yeah.
It feels like last year.
Just like yesterday.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. And he takes it for a called strike. So Brad Hopp strikes out. Let's take it back to 2007, September 21st, 14th inning. Brad Hopp with a blast to center field, which is very difficult to do at Petco Park, especially you get that heavy ocean air in the evening. That was part of their run where they won 13 of 14 to end the regular season and then went into game 163 against San Diego, beat them onto the playoffs, and eventually on to the World Series where they faced the Boston Red Sox.
2-1 ball game. A lot of guys, we talked about raising their average this last week. Cameron Maybin went from 233 to 279. That's just since Thursday morning.
Well, we've given you some of the stats earlier in the ball game. They've turned it on offensively here in the month of May. They really had no place to go. They were last in every category in April. Cameron Maybin singled back in the 2nd inning. Swing and a miss there. Now Cameron Maben had one heck of a night last night. He had a solo home run in the second inning, singled in the fourth, singled in the sixth, hit a 2-run homer in the seventh. He tied his career high with 4 hits, and he's done that each of the past 2 games, going a combined 8 for 10 in those games. He's the first Padre to collect 4 hits in consecutive games since Reggie Sanders did it in 1999. This one towards center field. Dexter Fowler has it, puts it away as the rain starts up again here at Coors Field. In fact, that 2-home run game by Maben last night, the first in his major league career. Other than that, he struggled. That'll bring up Ryan Ludwig. Flew out to center, back into second. See the fans breaking out the umbrellas. We've gone from mist to light sprinkle. I mean, how would you identify that?
A little light sprinkle. Annoying is what I would say.
The 1-0 pitch.
I don't think annoying is an official weather terminology.
I mean, it could be. I mean, if you use it enough, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it is cool out. It is wet. It's just kind of the way the season has gone. I mean, they've played a lot of cold weather, wet games so far. And fouled off to the right side.
It's kind of been all across Major League Baseball with the high number of postponements, delays. And already today, Seattle at Cleveland was postponed. Smart people, though.
Yeah. That one looks like it's broken.
It's all right.
This one grounded towards Herrera. Makes the play. Flips it over to first. That's the final out of the inning. We head to the bottom half of the fourth. Rockies with a 4-1 lead. A 4-1 lead as we start action in the bottom of the fourth. Remember, all season long, join us for Toyota Talk. Text your comments live during the game and see what you and fellow Rockies fans have on their mind about their favorite team. Text Toyota followed by a space and then your comment to 720-720. You can follow everyone's comments live during the sixth inning and the entire Toyota postgame show. Standard message and data rates may apply. Dexter Fowler leading things off in the bottom half of the fourth. We now have a third baseman change. Jorge Cantu in for Chase Headley. Headley had rolled his ankle earlier in the ball game. Here's the play he did it on.
It was back in the second inning. Ball off Troy Tulowitzki, missed it, and then just rolled it over. But Black saying, no, it's okay. It's a manager's job to put the kibosh on that sometimes and say, you know what, you don't need to go out there and be a hero.
The 0-2 pitch. Did he go around? Well, they appealed to third. Third didn't make any move, but they informed him he struck out.
That was Dale Scott's call.
Let's check in once again with Mark Stout. Mark.
Tom, Huey, I want to get a little specific with you guys about Jonathan Herrera's stance at the plate. Lefty and righty. He's a switch hitter, of course. He told me he became a switch hitter when he was 12 years old in Venezuela. One of the Yankees scouts down there said, you got to switch hit. Well, take a look at his stance in the box. And, Jeff, you can talk about this. When he's on the left side, his foot is a little bit further back. He said that what would happen was he would stride over the plate. So Glenn Allen Hill and a bunch of coaches said, just move your foot back so that when you stride, you're right in the middle of the box. He's naturally right-handed, Jeff. So he said he's got a little bit more power from there, and he can handle that. But that's just something very specific that he's kind of evolved over the years, right?
Yeah, and two completely different swings. From the right side that has the high leg kick. From the left side, it's just the toe tap. So from the right side, a little bit more power, but the left side more consistent with your swing.
Well, if you're batting 400 from one side, shouldn't you duplicate that on the other, or at least try to?
But switch hitters, because of the way they are, a lot of times it's difficult. The only guy that I can think of that is very similar from both sides is Chipper Jones. His swing is naturally the same from the right side as the left side. For Jonathan Herrera, it just didn't feel as right to do the leg kick.
Carlos Gonzalez at the plate, 1 for 2 on the day, has a single, an RBI, and scored a run in that third inning. That's where the Rockies have gotten all their runs so far, a 4-run third inning. They said Orang was 5-0 in games that he had not given up a homer. This one is gone. Carlos Gonzalez puts it in the upper deck. Second home run for the Rockies today. 4th one of the season for Carlos Gonzalez.
And now 20 RBIs for Carlos Gonzalez. Talk about a no-doubter. There's no doubt about this ball. There's only a question of how far would it travel. Down and in slider. You saw Carlos Beltran the other day hit a down and in slider to right field. It's a danger zone for left-handed hitters. Orang made a mistake. Gonzalez made him pay.
Celebration up in the Camarena patio. Now that'll bring up Troy Tulowitzki. Singled in the second, doubled in the third, tried to stretch that double to a triple, but was thrown out, and big smiles on the face of Carlos Gonzalez.
Rightfully so.
It's the 0-1 pitch. As I was saying before the home run, Orang 5-0 in games which he didn't give up a homer. Today he's given up 2, and he had a stretch 2 outings ago and 3 outings ago where he got shelled pretty good, gave up a handful of home runs and took losses in those games.
He doesn't have that fastball like he used to, where the fastball would be 93 to 94, maybe 95 miles an hour, and the slider would be harder because of it. He has to make sure that he pitches on the edges. When he doesn't, that's what's going to happen.
1-2 pitch outside, 2-2. That fastball at 92 miles an hour. Where Carlos Gonzalez, when he gets a hold of one, I think back to last year when he put one in the third deck against the Cubs.
The walk-off.
Yeah, to complete the cycle. Show off. Ball 3.
When you're talented like that, you can show off.
Talented, young, the defending National League batting champ. I mean, he's got a lot going for him. Got a new deal in the offseason. He's got a lot to smile about. Had his struggles at the start of the season, but has certainly caught his stride. And Troy Tulowitzki called on strikes. We'll talk with Dale Scott about it, but the Rockies pick up another run on a Carlos Gonzalez home run to right field. Rockies lead at 5-1 as we go to the top of the 5th. Brought to you by E470. Sign up for Express Toll today and start paying 20% less on E470 tolls. The Rockies will wrap up the series with the Padres tomorrow. Then they welcome in the Giants for a pair before they hit the road for a 5-game road trip, which includes 2 against Philly and 3 against the Milwaukee Brewers. Kyle Phillips leading things off for the Padres here in the top half of the 5th. He had a single and an RBI in the 2nd. 0-1 pitch.
Well, since that 2nd inning, Ulysses has found his stride. His 59 pitches. Next one will be his 60th.
A 1-1 pitch. First home with another nice play. He'll flip it over to Chacin for the first out of the inning.
Ouch. And I say that because of Todd. When he hit, his feet came up just a little bit onto the above his back. Watch his feet when he goes up. That tweaks that lower back.
I couldn't quite tell. Looks like he might have bumped his chin too on the turf.
I'm sure he was hit a little bit harder in football, but that is no fun.
Well, Chacin has retired 9 straight Padre hitters. We'll bring up Eric Patterson. Patterson still looking for his first hit on the road this season. He's 0 for 18. Swing and a miss there. 0-2.
The advantage turns to the pitcher when the conditions start to get foggy and rainy. You're worried about drops coming off the helmet. You're trying to keep the bat dry. Your gloves.
Now the precipitation is picking up. There's the 1-2 pitch. Sort of fouled off.
Fans, you can bike to the game tomorrow and park in the secure lot at 21st and Blake for your chance to win prizes.
You want to ride in together
Rockies,
tomorrow?
Yeah, let's do it. A tandem, or you just want to ride individually?
Well, tandem sounds good.
It's a long way from where we live.
You want to start about 25th and Lincoln down there?
Yeah. We'll drive downtown and bike.
We'll meet about 3 a.m. We'll see if we can get here before tomorrow afternoon's ball game. As the rain picks up, some fans finding their way under cover. That one outside, 2-2.
Well, you're going to have to bring some diamond dry out in between innings to get some down onto the infield dirt.
You see Dale Scott behind the plate. He's the crew chief. We'll keep an eye on the weather. This one grounded towards Helton. He'll step on the bag for the second out of the inning. Time now to answer our trivia question. We'd ask you, the Rockies had 5 players with 90-plus RBIs in 2007. Who were they? Jeff Houston has written it down. Jeff, you're correct. Tulowitzki, Atkins, Holliday, Hop, and Helton. You didn't have them in the correct order.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. And only 2 of those guys still in Rockies uniforms. Tulowitzki and Helton. 2007. I mean, it was a magical season. Troy Tulowitzki was a rookie. Todd Helton finally got into the postseason and into a World Series, and his iconic photograph with Eric Burns sliding across first base and his arms up in the air.
What's a little shocking about that? They've only had one guy have over 100-plus RBIs since then, and that was Carlos Gonzalez last year with 117.
Swing and a miss there, strikes out. We'll strike out 2-3. And we head to the bottom of the 5th. Rockies with a 5-1 lead. Well, that ball is long gone. Carlos Gonzalez, Todd Helton, each with solo homers in this ball game. It's part of the reason the Rockies are enjoying a 5-1 lead as we start action in the bottom half of the 5th. Todd Helton will lead things off, 1 for 2. Jim Tracy looking on. The rains have let up a little bit here.
Mark Razum came out in between innings and talked to Dale Scott, the crew chief. Didn't seem overly concerned.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the weather throughout the course of the day, is the off and on. A little bit of rain here and there. Todd Helton, he loves hitting in day games. 387, which is 7th in the National League this season. Time now for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. And it comes thanks to Todd Helton in the 3rd inning with a solo home run to dead center field. Helton's 5th home run of the season. behind in the count 3-0. And he walks him. So that'll bring up Seth Smith, who's 0 for 2 on the day. Flew out to left back in the second, grounded out to second in the third. You see Bud Black.
Yeah, but he could have had a hit in that first, or excuse me, in the second inning when Ryan Ludwig made the running catch down the line.
Yeah. Seth Smith has robbed a few guys this season of extra base hits and had the favor returned in the second as Ryan Ludwig chased one down on a play where Tulowitzki was at first, rounded second, was halfway between second and third, had to retreat, get all the way back to first base. It's the 0-1 pitch. This one driven towards left. Ludwig giving chase. Is he going to get there? Nope, it's going to bounce over the wall. It's a ground rule double.
th double on the season now for Seth Smith. He's going to get Darren Balsley out, the pitching coach. Another look at the ball that was left up and away from Seth Smith. Not much extra movement in Seth's swing. He rocks back just a little bit, gets that foot down, and then just drives through the baseball.
Well, safe at second, safe and secure. New York life. Nice ground rule double by Seth Smith. You see action in the bullpen as Lupke is getting loose.
The only left-hander that the San Diego Padres have in their bullpen. We talked about Joe Thatcher earlier, who's been a mainstay for the Padres, but he underwent exploratory shoulder surgery this spring. And he's on the 60-day DL.
Oh, and when Bud Black decides to go to his bench later on for a pinch hitter, he's only got right-handed hitters on the bench. So here's Ty Wigington. He's got a pair of singles today. Let's see if he grounds one through third. That one right up the middle. Helton will score. They're going to hold Seth Smith up at third. It's an RBI single for Wigington. And it's a 6-1 ball game.
Remember last night, Seth Smith almost took Dustin Mosley's head off with the line drive. Well, this almost caught Aaron Harang off the bat of Ty Wigington. There's some balls that are coming up there and not working down into the zone, catching a lot of the plate, and that's what you're supposed to do with mistakes at the major league level.
Jeff, one run away from tacos. It could be back-to-back taco games.
The good thing about it, tomorrow's a day game too, so we can.
You can enjoy the tacos again tomorrow night. I'll buy tomorrow.
You'll buy tomorrow.
You get tonight.
I got tonight.
I'll get tomorrow.
Okay. Well, let's get a couple more runs in just to make sure.
We're an hour and 22 minutes away from tacos tonight. Iannetta drives one towards right field. Venable back, makes the catch. Seth Smith tags up. There'll be no play at the plate. That's the 7th run of the ball game. It's another taco game. We've got tacos. Fans, don't forget to go to your participating Colorado Taco Bell locations tomorrow between 4 and 6 p.m. and get your Rockies Taco Special. Now that's a steal.
And Tom's buying.
I'm buying for Jeff. Not for everybody.
Well, that's going to be it for Aaron Harang today. Bud Black going to get Lupke out in the bullpen. 9 hits off Harang. 7 runs so far. Still an opportunity to add on to that with Wigington at first.
Well, Troy Tulowitzki's 2 RBI double in the third really got the ball rolling. At that point, it made it a 3-1 ball game, and then Todd Helton hit a homer later in that inning. In fact, the next batter. So they chase Harang from the ball game. We'll have a pitching change. Rockies lead at 7-1. lead, 7 runs on 9 hits. It's coming off a night in which they had 12 runs and 16 hits. And this is the offense the Rockies needed and have been searching for over the last 2-3 weeks.
But you're getting it, a lot of it, from the number 3 and 4 and 5 hole hitters, and that's why they're scoring the runs or the hits. Those 3 guys are combined 11 for 20, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, 9 runs scored.
It's pretty good.
It's not bad. And that just helps everybody else then, because they have the opportunity, just like Chris Iannetta a moment ago, to drive in a run with the sacrifice fly.
Well, Corey Lupke now into the ball game for the Padres. And he is not allowed a run in his last 10 outings, which covers 13 1/3 innings.
Fastball, slider, changeup from Lupke.
Scene showing bunt. Lupke actually made his major league debut last year in September in a start against the Rockies. Pitch gets this bunt down. Lupke comes charging in. It's fired over to first base. And that's the second out of the inning as Wigington moves up to second. Well, the bullpen has been solid for the Padres.
Well, the ERA, lowest in the major leagues. A lot of other things that the Padres do. They've only allowed 5 home runs coming out of the bullpen, which is first. Third in walks to strikeouts at 7.8. And it helps when you have a guy like Heath Bell that can close at the back end, Luke Gregerson that has a lot of experience, Chad Qualls, Mike Adams. But that's what they've been built on. Pitching, bullpen, and trying to score enough runs.
Dexter Fowler fouls this one off. Time for our Geico quote of the day, and it actually comes from Heath Bell. He says, quote, "I know the Lord's got a place for me, whatever the team is, until Jed has a conversation with me and tells me I'm not a San Diego Padre anymore. I'm going to give my heart and soul to this team." Now, Jed is Jed Hoyer, the GM of the team, and Heath Bell was responding to talks that the bullpen may be used as trade bait to make changes for this roster. Fowler, fly ball to center field, Maben underneath it. And that'll be the third and final out of the inning. But the Rockies pick up another pair and lead it 7-1 as we head to the top of the 6th. Brought to you by XL Energy. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save energy and money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. That was that last inning after Helton walks. Seth Smith doubles. And then Ty Wigington with an RBI single that scored Helton. And then Chris Iannetta with a sac fly to right that scored Seth Smith. They get a pair in the inning. And they're out to a 7-1 lead. We start action in the top half of the 6th inning. Will Venable will lead things off. Yolis Chacin has retired the last 9 Padre batters.
And the big number for me, Tom, is 0. 0 walks for Yolis in this game so far.
He's got 4 strikeouts in the ball game. This one line right to Herrera. Thank you very much. Flip over to first base.
That's how you make a play that's very hard look easy.
I don't know as he necessarily looked it into the glove.
That's all right. Put your glove down there. I've got it. Flip it over to the bare hand. 1 out. Vince loves tacos too.
So there's Jason Bartlett, 0 for 2 in the ball game. Going inside as he hits the deck.
That was a breaking pitch, slipped out of his hand. The moisture on the baseball.
Somebody asked, why is there a Yoda doll in front of the Padres bullpen? That's a good question.
Well,
Every bullpen has something, though.
A quirk. They have a backpack.
I'll tell you what, if anybody can get to the bottom of that story before the end of the series, it's Mark Stout. It's a good question. Why is Yoda hanging out there? There's a drive to left center field. Fowler and Carlos Gonzalez giving chase. They can't get there. It's off the wall. And he'll hold up at second base. Jason Bartlett has himself a double.
Just the 3rd double for Jason Bartlett. Fastball belt high. Classic swing from Bartlett. Kept the hands in, dropped that elbow, and hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark, right at the base of the wall.
That's the first hit for the Padres since Kyle Phillips hit an RBI single with 1 out back in the 2nd inning.
It is nice to see the Rocks getting hits throughout the whole lineup.
And it's something Jim Tracy had talked about in his pregame press conference, saying how contagious hitting is.
And conversely, that's what was happening before. They weren't hitting, and that's contagious as well. Teams go into collective tailspins offensively, and when they come out of it, everybody seems like they come out of it at the same time.
This is Jorge Cantu at the plate. He came into the ball game in the 4th inning defensively. Chase Headley had rolled his ankle back in the 2nd inning, played with it until the 4th inning. And Bud Black told him, you know what, you take a seat. We got you covered, and put Jorge Cantu in at third base. It's the 1-1 pitch. Fouled off.
Classic. Snowboarding in the morning, then make it back for the Rockies game in the afternoon.
The perfect day. And some light jogging.
I think you got the baseball.
Yeah. And ran it back at full speed, back to his section. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Look at that. Lean over the wall. Yes.
Okay, but he never.
You two bring your gloves. And little help.
Thank you.
You don't want to get that center of gravity too far over the wall.
And we're running.
And we take off like a jackrabbit. It's the 2-2 pitch to Cantu. Swing and a miss. Strikes out. He'll run it out. Iannetta will check the runner and fire over to first. It's another strikeout, 2-3.
A 5th strikeout now on the day for Yolis to go along with 8 ground ball outs, 4 flyouts.
That'll bring up Brad Hopp, who has 1 of the 4 Padre hits on the afternoon. He singled and scored their only run back in the 2nd inning. Jeff Hewson, you are my hero.
Go Pokes.
Love Mrs. Hewson. Well, she's from Laramie. Krista.
That was Krista. Thank you, Krista.
We should just pretend we're playing the Padres every game.
Well, last year the Rockies.
The flopper. It said the flopper from Denver. Yeah. I think our favorite foul ball guy texted in. Who could forget the flopper?
There was a guy last night that was pretty close to the flopper.
Yeah. But this guy had great arc. Made it cleared an entire row of seats to flop backwards and get a foul ball, or at least try to get one. Swing and a miss there. And, rain starting to pick up again here at Coors Field.
But to go back to that point about the Padres, last year the Rockies won 12 out of the 18 ball games they played against San Diego.
Somebody's saying Brad Hopp's facial hair looks villainous. Thin mustache. And I don't know what's on his chin. Here's the 1-1 pitch. He feels like it's making a difference offensively, so the facial hair is going to stay. See Jason Bartlett at second base.
Well, we're staying warm and dry up here. Hope Mark Stout is.
I can't see Mark from here. I don't know what he's up to. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Hop. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
Yes. Chacin looks awesome today. His fastball command, which I talked about back in the first inning, has set up everything today. He's not scattering that all over the strike zone. Staying true to his mechanics. Todd's been able to trot 5 times this year.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. This one fouled off. The Todd father, they're loving Todd Helton this season, as well they should.
Well, after he ended the inning, you're wondering why he got a ball tossed to him. Because he usually tosses a ball up into the stands for a fan, and then he gets a new ball for next inning. So when they go out to take the ground balls in between innings, he's got a fresh ball. So that's why you saw that.
Wyoming loves the Rocks. And he strikes him out, a called strikeout. Brad Hopp not happy.
Strike out you will.
That's what Yoda says. It's 7-1. Rockies swinging the hot bat. Todd Helton with a home run on the day. His 5th of the season. Carlos Gonzalez went deep into the second deck. His 4th home run of the season. And it has helped the Rockies out to a 7-1 lead. Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Carlos Gonzalez on deck. Jonathan Herrera leading things off for Colorado here in the bottom half of the 6th. They scored 4 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, and 2 in the 5th. This coming on the heels of a 12-run performance last night that saw him rack up 16 hits. You see the fans in the background bundling up, putting on the rain gear.
It's starting to rain harder now. Mark Grasam and his crew came out in between innings and used the spreader to put some diamond dry on the infield. You have to just keep an eye on the mound next.
You can see him pouring the diamond dry into the wheelbarrows there, getting ready to take out here for the next half inning. And this group does a great job of keeping this field playable. There was a game last year, I think, against Washington, where they were out there every half inning, the entire ball game. Fly ball to right field. Put away by Venable.
Think about how dry this winter has been down here to have this field look like it does, and then you get 2+ inches of rain the other day. I just have a tough enough time trying to keep my front yard looking nice, and they've got this big pasture here. Every day they're working it.
How much would it cost to have them come to my house and green up my lawn, you think?
Probably a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah, I don't want to
even put
tips. A figure on it.
Well, this replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. Don't throw away your non-winning scratch tickets. Replay every ticket in the second chance drawing at ColoradoLottery.com. Fourth inning, Carlos Gonzalez, a solo home run into the second deck in right field. At that time, it made it a 5-1 ball game. Rockies have tacked down a pair since. Gonzalez 2 for 3 on the day. He scored 5 times in this series, and he's had 8 plate appearances. It's a ground ball to second base. Patterson in the field first, and that's the second out of the inning.
We'll go back to the San Diego Padres for a minute. Back in '85, we were talking about that. Bruce Bochy.
Okay.
Dougie did some research for me. Terry Kennedy was also a catcher on that.
Interesting. Terry Kennedy, I think, was sick that day. That's the reason Bruce Bochy was catching. Continue.
Steve Garvey at first.
Steve Garvey. That's
Tim Flannery at second. Gary Templeton at shortstop.
Gary Templeton.
Greg Nettles at third base. Carmelo Martinez out in left field. Kevin McReynolds in center. And, of course, the ever Padre Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn in right.
In right.
A more svelte Tony Gwynn in right. We should keep that list and give it to Tom Runnels to refresh his memory of the '85 Padre team.
There were some names on that. That was a good team.
There's Troy Tulowitzki, 2 for 3 on the day. A single, a double. Pair of runs batted in. Struck out looking in the fourth. Got good numbers against Corey Lupke. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Aaron Harang made it 4 1/3 innings in this ball game. Gave up 9 hits and 7 earned runs. Walked 4 and struck out 3.
90 pitches to get those 4 1/3 outs.
This one popped up towards first base. Brad Hopp underneath it and makes the catch. And that'll take care of business here in the bottom half of the 6th. We head to the 7th. Rockies in command with a 7-1 lead. Coors Field. Time now for today's Quest high-speed pitch. Aaron Harang, who was chased from the game in the 5th inning, tops out at 93 miles per hour. Yolis Chassin still going strong, hit 93 as well. That's brought to you by the new Quest 5-year price lock promise. Visit quest.com/promise for details. Tom Helmer, Jeff Houston, and Mark Stout with you here at Coors Field. Rockies have had 9 hits this afternoon behind those 7 runs. Jhoulys Chacin has been great on the hill. He faces Cameron Maybin to lead things off. Maybin 1 for 2 with a single.
As we start the 7th inning for Jhoulys, he's gone at least 6 innings in 7 out of his 8 starts this year.
He's retired 14 of the last 15 in this ball game.
And the only time he did not was back on April 22nd, the game down in Florida, where he only went 5.
Florida really feels like where the offensive struggles began. That was a tough series for him. They couldn't get runs across. Ubaldo Jimenez had a start in that series where he gave up 1 hit in the ball game, and it was a bases loaded triple.
Well, remember, they almost got no hit.
Almost got no hit, yeah. And it seemed from that point on, collectively, they had their struggles. There's a strike. We'll make it 3-1. And as of last night, they've all come back as a group, hitting strong. And you knew they would. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. And we kept saying when. Seemed like for a number of days in a row.
3-1 pitch down the middle, and it's 3-2. You see Ty Wigington. Todd Helton with a home run today.
Wigington with a couple hits and RBI.
Yeah, Tulowitzki,
2 hits, 2 RBIs.
Well, as Maybin draws a walk, let's check in with Mark Stout. Mark.
All right, guys. Dave Roberts, first base coach. They were with Cameron Maybin of the San Diego Padres. Great leadoff hitter. And I talked to Jim Tracy about him because in 2002, Jim Tracy was the manager of the Dodgers when that guy stole 45 bases and really was the spark plug for that team that Jim Tracy led. He said he was the consummate professional, great leadoff guy. And I said, can Dexter Fowler get to that level? He said, I don't know if he's got that speed. But when Dexter, and you guys were talking about this, can get out of the box a little bit quicker, and Jeff, learn how to bunt like Dave Roberts did, as this is in the hole for a hit, then maybe Dexter will get to that level. He thinks he can because of his athletic ability. He said that Dave Roberts spent nights with Maury Wills to perfect bunting and base running, and maybe Dexter Fowler gets to that point, Jeff. But bunting, and I said it last night, easier said than done, right?
Well, it is because they're 2 different styles. Dave Roberts a little bit shorter than Dexter Fowler. Dave Roberts probably listed at about 5'8" or 5'9". Dexter's going 6'5". So different body types, but yeah, he should be able to drop down a few more bunts. But Dave Roberts in his career, 80% base stealer, 243 of 301. And during that time when Dave Roberts was stealing all those bases at 80%, the major league average was just 70%.
Well, Ryan Ludwig had the single. There's runners at first and second now. Nobody out. Jhoulys Chacin has thrown 96 pitches so far, and it looks like there's going to be action in the bullpen. Matt Lidstrom just got up out there, getting the arm loose.
Fans, don't forget that tomorrow is Strikeout Stroke Day at Coors Field. All fans will receive a magnet to help recognize warning signs of stroke.
It's Matt Lidstrom getting loose in a hurry out there. As Chacin closes in on 100 pitches. Here's a ball. 2-1. Rain starting to fall a little bit harder here.
Reminds me of when I played in Seattle. This is a Seattle day.
Seattle's got the roof now. You know?
Well, I know that, but
they had a 2 before at the Kingdome. What does it mean? Oh, you just mean like
but
a normal
just
day.
A normal day.
Just those missed.
That's why they have the roof. Okay.
You look like you wanted to reach over and slap me.
Well, just because you're saying you played inside, you still had to get out to your car. You still had to drive in it. You had to go to the grocery store.
Oh, man. Two and two the count to Kyle Phillips. You crack me up, Huey. Here's the pitch, and it's 3-2. So now Chacin in danger of walking Phillips and loading the bases. Eric Patterson currently on deck.
Well, Lindstrom is going to be ready.
And he walks him. So now the bases are loaded. And Bob Apodaca is going to pay a visit to the hill to talk with Chacin, who's now thrown 101 pitches.
Well, 2 walks this inning when he had 0 prior to this.
The last thing you want to do here is make things interesting. And you see Dale Scott, the crew chief, and the umpire behind the plate tonight. Hey, Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. See a Wells Fargo banker today for details. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. A career with the bases loaded, 333 and 1 grand slam. You got Maben at third, Ryan Ludwig over at second, Kyle Phillips at first.
The Padres, though, as a team, sit 226 with the bases loaded. This is Eric Patterson's first plate appearance with the bases loaded at the major league level.
And you've got Chris Denorfia on deck now, who is the Padres' best pinch hitter, getting loose. Pitch outside, that'll be 1-1. I doubt if Patterson gets here that it'll be Chacin that faces Denorfia. I would assume at that point it'll probably be Lindstrom.
Yeah, at 103 pitches, unless